Hello all, my name is Scott Grove. Today I had a request to simply go through changing the strings on a guitar that has my favorite type of tuners on it, just the good old-fashioned Fender tuners like this. The main reason that I love these, other than tuners really aren't much better quality. If you try to upgrade your tuners from these old vintage things to something else and throw Grovers on, you're really not doing much from this to locking tuners to anything else. With these, what the great thing is they have that hole in the middle and there's no strings poking out to poke yourself or to cut yourself or to look messy. So for people actually don't understand the concept of these particular tuners sometimes, which I find to be totally amazing. So once again, I'm just going to sit here and simply change the strings and clean the fretboard. It needs that. It's a 1996 Photo Flame Telecaster, and I got it in, and it's still got the crappy Ernie Ball Super Slinky 9s on it that came on it, and they are dead. Okay, they were alive when I got them. I played on them for about a half an hour, and it's time to throw them away. Okay, and we get to replace them with the best strings on the planet, right there, the Elixir Polywebs, not the Nano Webs. And thanks to my good buddy Justin Spicer, who points out that Elixir for a short moment went ahead and fucked everybody and put out the other version of these strings, which they won't take back, even though I ordered them. Right here you get the regular Polywebs. Here you get them with the anti-rust unwound strings. Here you get strings that will rust the fucking, they will rust like any other strings. These still have the coating on it and have been treated so they won't rust. So amazing strings here, last longer than any string in the world. Way better than the Nano Webs. If you go to a Guitar Center, I hate saying that word, but you can't get these. You have to order them. So order them either from Elixir, who they will fuck up and they will try to send you what's left of their non-anti-rust things, and enough people bitched about it that they came back out. So thanks, Justin, for pointing that out. Okay, so simply I need something to grab the peg winder, get these strings off here. I always just line everything straight up so I don't run into the other key. So just loosen everything one until everything's sticking straight up and down. Just a few winds, and these are the best things to change strings on too. Okay, just give them a few. It don't matter, you don't have to totally loosen them, but always when you're changing your strings, change them all at once so you can clean your neck. Okay, always. Rosewood, ebony, maple, doesn't matter. Change them all at the same time. Having your strings all off on there makes no difference. It will not harm your guitar at all. Again, they ship guitars to you on purpose with the strings loosened. So that's the same as not having strings on your guitar. No tension on your neck, it doesn't hurt them. And how long does it usually take you to get a guitar? Usually it takes me a week to 10 days to get a guitar from, you know, get off there, you bitch. Usually it takes me a week to 10 days. Now here's the great part to get a guitar. Here on this end, I mean the strings, you let loose of them, you get a hold of all these damn things, boom, they just came off the guitar. I know you probably didn't get to see it, I'm not looking at my monitor here, but they just pull right out and you don't have to try to untie them. And never tie your strings on there, never wrap anything over top of another, never let your strings cross each other. Don't wrap around it and then under it and through it and back this way and sew it on or whatever the hell so many people do. That's all bullshit and just gay as it gets. It's just dumb. Okay, this is the first string change on this guitar, and I'm noticing I have a couple ferrules on the back at the guitar that I'm hitting there. Yeah, those little things that the strings go through that are going to kind of poke out. Looks like all of them are going to come out with the strings. So Either I live with that or I glue them in anytime I want, but it won't be this string change because I'm not going to do it. So you learn something new every day when you change your strings. Is that all of them? By golly, they're all out. Okay, so next thing we have to do after we take the strings out, since we're, and I'll have to pick up those ferrules in a little bit, I'm sure. We have to change, there's them other two strings, by golly. And yeah, the ferrules are coming out with them. There they are, hanging out. Looks like a couple little balls. Somebody with some big ass balls. Big metal balls, that's what we all need. Big robot flipping balls. Okay, ferrules are all coming out with the strings, so that's fine. I'll leave them over here and I'll mess them. Okay, so again we have a rosewood fingerboard. Okay, so I'm going to, I forgot to bring any water here, so I'm just going to reach over and grab one of my humidifiers. Turn it upside down. Take a terry cloth rag. Put my finger inside of it. Dip it right in the water. Get it good and wet. And time to just clean the entire fretboard. Always clean your entire fretboard. That's why you never ever take off one string at a time and try to clean it and then do another one. That's all bullshit. So if you've ever heard that, and especially even with whammy loaded systems such as Floyd Rose systems and so forth, they tell you, some people will tell you, especially the morons in the forums, will tell you to take off one string at a time, try to clean the neck as best you can, and then get it back on so that you always keep your pressure and tension on your neck. Wrong. That's all bullshit. Okay, so I have just cleaned the holy shit out of the rosewood fingerboard. And what do we got to do now? We have to dry it, which takes that much effort. Is it clean yet? No. But here's how much gunk just came off of this. Like I said, I've never changed the strings on it. There's what was on the fretboard. Rosewood is the worst wood in the world for fretboards. Again, I'm just repeating this from another video in case somebody watches this one and not the other. Rosewood collects all this gunk, dirt, everything else. This will not happen on a maple fingerboard because it's treated, it is coated in polyurethane. This is just wood that is the worst wood in the world for a fretboard. Picks up every bit of dirt, and then your fingers actually grind against that all night long, and then you just rub them, run your fingers across your strings, and the thing that makes strings go dead is that. And you keep rubbing that back and forth, your strings into this, your fingers into this, and then you rub it back and forth on all the windings on your strings, and yeah, just from that, that's what makes your strings go dead. This does not collect on a maple fingerboard. Okay, so you have a good clean maple fingerboard, and that does not happen. You go to clean it, takes 2 seconds, and no dirt ever there. It just don't exist. Okay, and once again, just to piss some people off, these are some of the best tellies around. Why? Because you have a tummy cut, and you have a place for your arm that's been cut too. Okay, so none of that crap where your arm falls asleep from this big old slab hunk of crap that's like this. So they made a perfect telly here. Why? Because we got 3 pickups. You're not stuck with only 3 options for tone. When this came originally, it had this stupid thing where the 5-way switch was back here and the whole thing was turned the opposite way. Bullshit. Put it back where it belongs. It's all preference. I don't care. I'm here to teach you about cleaning the fretboard. Okay, the fretboard and changing the strings especially was the main thing with that type of tuner. Okay, so the fretboard has dried. Going to a clean part of the rag on the terry cloth, and just simply going to make it nice and pretty and shiny. Okay, she's shining up nice. Get close to the frets. Again, maple, that's the only place you will find dirt on a maple fingerboard is right next to the frets. And I actually use a very, very, very small flathead screwdriver to remove that dirt. People are like, no way. It's like, yeah, way. What you do, and this here's just so you can see it because it's big flathead screwdriver, just get right there inside by the fret, go like that, and dig the dirt away, go like this, it's gone. So it's just a very small screwdriver that just is there to dig the junk off, and it's gone. It's 100% gone. So everything looks great. You can check out the fretboard. And the second time I just went and cleaned it, it always shows back up. Let's see. Not much. And here's how much dirt was left over right there. After wiping it off, after doing it the first time with... So there's your first, looks like it's been up your butt. Then after I completely cleaned it and then dried it off and then cleaned it again, look, it looks like it's been up your butt again. So that is rosewood, kids. And the fretboard looked clean, but that's actually what's there. It's so porous that you fill up all those little pores on the fretboard with all the shit that comes off your body. Dead skin, blah blah blah. Okay, always use a cheesecloth, a guitar cleaning rag. Spit is what I'm putting right now here on the bridge. Don't ever use guitar polish or guitar wax or guitar anything. No kind of oils on your fretboard ever. It's all bad for your guitar. It's not only is it not good for it, but it's actually bad for your guitar. Especially depends on where you live. If you live in the Midwest, if you're in the United States or any place that has humidity, you don't need to be adding more liquid to your fretboard. That's just not the way to go. Again, I just put spit on my finger and wiping down the guitar. Again, spit. If you want to use water, that's fine, but no cleaning materials at all. Back of the neck is maple, and it's clean. I'll just throw a little spit right on there and just get anybody else's fingerprints off. And I am clean as a whistle now. Okay? So never any kind of guitar polish, never any treatment oils of any kind for your rosewood fingerboard or any kind of fingerboard. Don't ever do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm the only guy that's going to tell you the truth. Again, I know I'm going to have the people coming back saying bullshit, but I don't do this for my health to tell you guys. I'm here for a service to provide you with the one guy who doesn't shoot you bullshit. So that's that. Okay, now for the real fun. String time. And I will show you what not to do. Okay, first one I'm going to grab my low E string. And like I said, the ferrule's on the back of this guitar. Just for some reason don't want to be on there, so I'm going to feed it right through there. It's going to hook up the ball of my string. Get it through the body of the guitar. You know how to change strings already. Okay, so it has made its way back. Okay, now here is the thing that the video is about, so I will stop and concentrate on this and get up here and try to do my own camera work and zoom in a little bit. It's for my good buddy, and if he wants to see it, by golly, well, I'm here to show it to you. Okay, so here are the cool tuners. He's like, I hope it's just more than just because it's got that hole there, you know, why I like these tuners so much. It's like, well, actually, it's not. I'm looking for just my, there it is. I'm looking for my tool, kids. Don't you be staring at it. I was looking for my needle nose pliers here. People that do this wrong. Some people will take this, put the string through there like this, just like almost if you had a thing, and then they will like wind it and do this other stuff. No, don't do that. And don't you ever put a string on and then wind it around with your hands. That really fucks up the string. Okay, it screws with the winding on it. Not as bad on the unwound strings, but these wound strings, they're wound a precision way to a certain way, and you tighten them there, and they're meant to be tightened that way. But you doing this and trying to avoid cranking all day, that actually does bad things to your strings. So what's the general rule for these things about how far to cut them? Okay, you're going to need more winding on your higher strings and less winding on your low strings. You want to at least get like 2 wraps on your lowest E. So go about 3 tuners past is my general rule. Okay, for the low E, I'm going all the way to the G string, cut it. Okay, right up to the G tuner. Okay, cut her off, shove it straight down into, okay, there's that hole right in the middle of it. Shove the end of the string all the way down till it stops. You're going to have to bend it all the way over. Okay, so I just bent it over, and now it's just time to simply crank it, and always go underneath the string, never cross over the top. So it just goes straight down towards the ground or towards the guitar. I'm cranking this puppy up. Now I've got 3.5 wraps on there, and there's finally 4. Okay, so if you want to go get something to eat or anything right now, that is basically it. But I'm going to show you some more stuff that you don't want to miss, and that happens to do with the Floyd Rose and such also. So I'm just putting the strings through the ferrules again, so you're not missing anything. You're just listening to me talk, of course. So again, if you have a Floyd Rose, don't take strings off one at a time. You need to clean everything. So take all of your strings off. Okay, I'm putting the lid back on my, or the bottom, I guess actually, back on my one of my humidifiers where I just stole water from. Put that back over there. Okay, again, I am ready to cut. Okay, where's my guitar neck? There I am. I'm going on the A string now, so now I'm just going all the way up to the B string. So 3 posts past the string is a great length. Okay, so I just cut it at the B string, so that's three away. Pocahontas, take the string, poke it straight down in there, boom, bend it over, nice right angle, and just start turning. That is it. I'm holding up, which you can't see, I'm holding the string, I'm pushing down with my first finger, okay, so it keeps it down towards the guitar. The rest of it I'm holding like this, and holding it off of the guitar neck. Okay, so it's actually way up here. It's about 4 inches off the guitar neck right now. Okay, so we're winding and winding and winding. So just do it that way, and you'll have no problem. Speed winding 101. I can actually change a set of guitar strings in like 2 minutes, and then another 2 minutes to stretch them out until they are completely stretched and will never need to be stretched again. I'm feeding it through the other ferrule. Like I said, one of these days if I ever change strings on this again, which I may not ever have to because of the Elixir strings, they are just that good. The poly webs are. The nano webs suck. But all of your guitar centers only carry the nano webs. Why? Because they suck. The strings and the guitar center. Okay, so here we are with another one, D string, so I'm going 3 more past. I'm going to go a little bit more, pretend like there's another one. So I'm going past the E. I'm going all the way to the end of the headstock for the D string. All the way to the end of the headstock on a Telecaster. Okay? And let's see what I got on camera. That's always the hard part. I always forget to look up and make sure you're involved. Again, shove it in a hole and bend it over. Make sure you get a good right angle bend so it will stay in there. Push down with your first finger, and again, I have it. I've got 3 fingers holding the string away from the guitar. Okay, so if I actually can get this on camera. Okay, so they're all underneath those 3, and then my first finger is pushing down and basically putting the string in place where it's almost going to go. It's lined up with the slot, you know, on the nut for it. So crank her up, crank her up, crank her up. Now people ask me, they said, how the hell do you work with like a Floyd Rose? You know, because you detune one little string and every other string goes out of tune. Of course, that's just the way every free-floating whammy is in the world. That's just the way they are. But as far as changing strings, you take them all off, and that whammy is going to be all over the damn place. So I'm going to show you a little trick here in a second. But yes, every time you change strings, take every string off your guitar. It's the only way to do it, period. It's the only way you can clean it. Otherwise, you cannot clean your guitar. That's not a good thing. Okay, G string. And how far am I going to go? I'm going to go about the same as the D string, just a little bit past the end of the guitar. Okay, you can't see it, but I'm telling you where it's at. So, just a little bit past the end of the guitar, about an inch. Okay, so an inch past the headstock on your average Tele or Strat. They're the same thing. The headstock's going to be the same distance away. Okay, they're just different shaped headstock. Okay, where's my thing? Okay, again, just cram her in the old hole. Do a bend, and here we go. Push down with your first finger and grab the rest. Pull it away from the guitar body. I'm going to do this last one this way, and then I will pan out so you can see what's going on. You understand how to stick it in the hole now. Okay, so don't ever just go through and tie it or do any other bullshit other than just wind it straight down the peg. Never ever ever cross it. Never cut them or leave them so long that they have to go all the way down to the bottom of the post and then start coming back up again. Big no-no. Okay, so I'm going to pan back out. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so we get to see what's going on for the rest of this. 2 more strings to go. B string. Furial. If I keep talking about those, that's these little guys that are stuck in the back of the guitars. Does a guitar, while we're sitting here rattling crap, does it make any difference on the sustain of a guitar if the strings go through the body? No, makes no difference at all. So why do they do this? Who knows? Okay, top loaders, as they're called, right through the bridge on the top. Fine and dandy. Okay, B string. I will cut off a little bit of this. I'm only going to cut off about 2 inches of it from the end, because you're going to need most of this B string. Okay, it needs to be in there. Okay, the cool thing here, since we now have, which you can probably see if you have this on full screen instead of the little bitty thing on YouTube, right here with your string tree. We won't have to use our first finger anymore here in a second. Okay, stick her in the hole, go down here, go underneath the string tree. Now you can hold it. It's this far back. I'm going to do this so the light can catch it. Okay, this sucker is 8 inches easy away from the guitar. Do you need all that on her? Yeah. Put her on her. And just wind straight down. It's going to take 10 to 12 seconds for this one. And so you don't need to go out and buy one of those damn speedboat things. No, one of these that actually attach to the end of a drill. You can, and it won't hurt anything except for it goes faster than what your gears are probably geared towards. And being able to do, I know some of you actually are with your stopwatch is trying to count how long it took me to wind that on there, and you're gonna, it took 18 seconds, not 10 or 12. I expect it from you. I wouldn't think any. Well, yeah, I could think less of you. I think less of a lot of you. Why? Because I'm a prick. Okay, last string going on, and then we'll talk about just a couple things. But somebody just wanted to see how these loaded into these type of tuners. But really, that's all there is to it. Again, it makes no difference if the strings are going through the back of the guitar. None, as far as sustain. I mean, you know, look, Les Pauls are supposed. Okay, E strings, I use the whole string, the entire string, so don't cut it. Cram it in the hole, bend it, and we are underneath the string tree. I've got a good 11-12 inches hanging up here. Yeah, I know I'm a white boy and I'm blessed if I have 11 or 12 inches. And yeah, it'll probably take me 25-30 seconds to wrap this sucker up. So you can see how I'm holding it. I've got it wrapped around my entire hand here. That's what she said. Okay, so it's that simple, but you don't have any of this stuff poking out to prick you, to poke anybody in the eye. If you have strings that are hanging off of here, dudes grow up that just looks so stupid, so tacky, it will scratch your headstock of your guitar while you're sitting there trying to wind them on. Okay, so just don't do it. Do you know how you look at old pictures of yourself and you look really retarded? You're going to look like that too when you're looking at old pictures of you and your guitar and you playing somewhere. You're going to look like a total tool to yourself later down the line. Okay, so we are done. Strings are on. Everything is clean. Everything is wonderful. Everything is beautiful. All the ferrules on the back are nice and everything's clean, pretty, and the entire fretboard looks good. You could look at the other setup I did. These frets look fine. If they ever need to be shined up a little bit, always just grab some really fine grade steel wool. I have a little thicker rat thing I've used for about 10 years, and what's left of my really fine grade right here, and just run that over top of the frets and they look like brand spanking new if they ever start to get dirty or rusty or any of that stuff. Okay, so now the simple part. Let's get this thing tuned up and I'll show you some hints. Okay, tuning. Okay, simple. Anything that sounds like that, get some tension on it. Get them kind of close to there and then grab your tuner. Okay, now I'm going to get these to where it does not take any time at all to stretch your strings to where they will never ever go out of tune again. Okay, ever. Strings do not need to. You can stretch them and be done with it in 2 minutes. Okay, so low E, just take everything, tune it to pitch first time around, maybe a little past it if you want. D, you can always go a little past on your first pass. B, E. Okay, everything's done. High E strings, I'm bending up towards the ceiling and bend it here, bend it down here up towards the ceiling. B string, same way, but at the same time, this hand down here, grabbing it, tugging at it upwards towards the ceiling, not away from the guitar. Same thing here, I'm just bending it everywhere I possibly can for as much as I can. Okay, now for your wound strings, D string, I'm grabbing underneath it with 3 fingers and pushing with my thumb the opposite way. I'm just going like this. Just twisting the string. Okay, so that's all that's happening. Do it all the way up and down the neck. About twice, grab the A string, same thing. I'm doing this. I'm twisting the string until it's so tight that you know it's going to break, and then quit doing it. Don't break it. Okay, so your wound strings, you do it just like this. Your other ones, grab it with the one hand over here with 3 fingers, push, pull up like this, and push up just like you're doing bends, but bend farther than a regular bend. Okay, now just going to tune it again. E, B, G, D, A, E. Okay, one more time. Okay, it takes only like 3 times of doing this and you are done stretching forever. You don't ever blame your guitar for going out of tune because you have new strings and they're still stretching. That is total bullshit. They will not stretch after this, ever. Okay, the only time your guitar will go out of tune after this is due to climate changes, temperature changes, whatever. It gets cold, your guitar goes sharp. It gets hotter, your guitar goes flatter. But your strings will be totally stretched. So I did the same thing again, but really quick. E, B, G, D. These are a lot less flat now. A, and E. Now the third time around, watch how quickly I do it. I'm just going to do it since you know what I'm doing. Okay? And E string. Okay, I did it all. E. Done. B. Barely off. G barely. D. I'm on. A is barely off. Low E is barely off. I would honestly say I'm done. I'll do it one last time and we'll see. I mean, stretching the holy shit out of these things, it don't take much. It takes that much now. Check them all. E is good. B is perfect. G is dead on. D is dead on. A is dead on. E is dead on. None of them need tuned again, ever. Until it's time to play the gig, then you play, you tune it for the gig, but that's it. Set your guitar out at least a half hour before the gig and let it get used to the temperature in the building. And let your strings get used to the temperature of the building. Don't ever take your guitar out, then tune it, and then try to play, because it's going to go out of tune, and you're probably mistaking that for string stretching. It has to be acclimated, which means get used to the temperature in the building you're playing at. Okay, so we're totally done with that. And look, they are perfect. There's nothing sticking out there to poke anybody. No stupid, teenage bullshit where they're hanging everywhere to try to look cool. No, it's not cool. So everything is beautiful. Okay, so that guitar is literally done. That is a string change and a rosewood fingerboard cleaning. Overdone, blah blah blah. I will go over the Floyd Rose here real quick. Just not actually doing it. You know how to change the strings, but debunking the myth. Okay, let's get Mr. Zoom thing. Okay, here's the deal, Skippy. Okay, here's your Floyd. Okay, now if you go to the store and get yourself this. This is an emery board to file your fingernails with. Get one of those that are really strong and don't bend easy. Okay, get one of them. Okay, underneath your bridge on the back of it, the camera will focus. Okay, you've got, there's your bridge, and there's those little guys, right? Okay, the thing is that pulls way back, right? Goes way back there. Okay, I'm grabbing the whammy bar and pulling back. If you take all the strings off, this whole damn area is going to be, this is going to be sunk into your guitar. So that's not a good thing. That's why they always tell you to, change one string. But look, you got dirt on your frets. You need to clean the whole fucking fretboard. You can't try to just do one and try to get a little bit of water in there and do this. You're going to touch your other strings with trying to clean it, and they're going to rust because you just got water and shit on your strings. So just take it off and clean it proper. Okay, what's with this flipping emery board? I'll tell you. You grab a cheesecloth, the guitar cleaning rag, double it over again. Okay, so it's 4 layers thick. Okay, this is to protect the finish on your guitar. Put that underneath of these, then take the emery board, stick it underneath there like that, and you're good to go, kiddies. You can take all your strings off now, and this is going nowhere. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. I need a remote control. Okay, so here's what we got. Okay, again, don't spill my tea. The string thing, string rag. Do it up again. If you want to make it really nice and tight, stick it under there. And this is just so it don't press the emery board, because there's tons of pressure on this thing with all the springs once you take all the strings off. So get that good and tight. Good and tight. That's a German word. Until this really is tight underneath those parts here. And stick your emery board under there. Then cut all your strings off. Loosen them, and then you undo them, how you do, and pop them right off. Change, do your strings, do your entire fretboard, and be done with it. And then when you're totally done and you have the guitar pretty much back in tune and the string stretched, take that out. And if it's still just on it a little too much, guess what? Push down on the damn whammy bar. That'll release the thing and take it all out. But that's how you do it. Okay, so those people, it's like Mythbusters. Everybody keeps telling me that I'm like the Mythbuster guy. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. But that's how you do that. And they make special things for this. I'm not the only person who has thought of that. So of course somebody has made a piece of plastic or what have you with a felt back so it won't fuck up your finish, that you just slip under here and away you go. You know, so it's just, they are available. Look for them online if you really want to spend money, or for no money, you already have the shit in your house, you could do it my way. Otherwise you could pay the $19.95 or whatever for their emery board with a felt back on it that's twice as thick as all, and it will still mar your guitar actually, but this will not. If you go 8-ply thick under here, you're not going to hurt the finish on your guitar. Okay, so there you go. That is that. And yes, this is a Fender Telecaster. HMT stands for Heavy Metal Telecaster. I've got like 6 or 8 of these things, I think. But they are amazing. Look at the inlays. This is Fender Japan, way back in the days. Lace sensor, you got a DiMarzio. This is actually an SD3, Super Distortion 3. Coil split right here. And it's the only humbucker that really sounds like a real humbucker and sounds like a real single coil when you do it. Most other pickups just don't. Once you tap them or split them, 2 different terms completely. A coil split and a coil tap are way different things. You can do a coil tap on a single coil. You're just tapping into a different frequency on there and it changes it, makes it sound kind of out of phase. But a coil split is you split one in half, you shut one off, that's a split. So don't get them confused, okay? But that's what this does, and the Super Distortion 3 pickup that they used on these thin lines here, isn't that gorgeous? One of the best tellies, easily, 24 frets, amazing. But that sounds like a real humbucker. But if you put this coil split switch on any pickup, it automatically introduces that wiring into the circuit. Therefore your humbucker never sounds the same again. It don't sound quite like a humbucker. It sounds like a thin humbucker. And then your single coil, once you split it, sounds like a thick single coil, so it's not right. But this is the only pickup I've ever found. Again, the DiMarzio SD3. Impossible to find, except for, you know, when people are parting out guitars like this. But that's the only one that sounds like the real deal. So you could actually put 3 of these puppies in here and have the splits on each one and have something that actually sounds like a Strat, and then 3 actual humbuckers, and just put switches everywhere to do all that shit for. And it's just amazing. Okay, so there you go. And that's how you would do your Floyd Rose system. And again, the Fender HMT, they're amazing. They do the heavy metal Strats too and everything. But great setup. Believe it or not, that's actually a Kaler system. See right there? It's just a licensed by Floyd Rose Kaler that actually works. Just the best. Look at the strings. I mean, they aren't doing anything. I mean, this sucker is in perfect tune. Okay, so it works. Floyd Rose type setups are the only ones that work. Quit staring at my crotch. Okay, so I am somebody. Who am I? I'm nobody. Let's do this some more. And maybe even this. Okay, so Scott Grove here. Yeah, I'm here. Proudly wearing my Grinning Elk Music Company t-shirt. They've got me some great guitars, superb people. I'll even show the back of the shirt. I think I'm showing it anyway. I have no idea if it's on the camera. Cool, if not, whatever. Just look up Grinning Elk Music Company and talk to Ray over there, man. He will hook you up with the best quality guitars. I mean, this guy's into spotless guitars. They've never been touched. He's got me my new Tele coming, and he will find me a 78 Ibanez PS10 Paul Stanley. He hooked me up with this never before played limited edition Buck Owens Tele. Isn't that amazing? Never played after all this time. But he finds stuff like this. He goes to guitar shows like at least every other weekend and gets you the great stuff. So a plug for Ray over there at Grinning Elk Music Company. It says, I think on the back it says something like a goofy name and serious instruments or something I can't read from here. And the hair's in the way, of course. So again, Scott Grove showing you the so awesomely cool tuners, the vintage style, which, like I said, and this here's a different guitar. This here's a, I don't even remember what the hell his name is. From the Telecasters. My brain is so bad. Don't ever have a stroke, kids. That's fucks your brain up. Jerry Donahue. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Anyway, but groovy looking axe, double binding. How pretty is that? 4-way switch. But we were here for these. So if you have multiple string trees, whatever, but still keep following the same rules. See how many wraps are on these and how they are wrapped. Okay, this is the way you do it. This is how it do it. Okay, so never cross anything. Perfect. This is a perfect view of how these are supposed to be done. Any other way and you are screwing up. Okay, so the string goes right down in the hole there. Right angle comes out. Then to keep them from falling out, you have to keep all that pressure, just like I showed you, with your index finger pushing down, then your rest of your fingers pulling way up away from the neck, straight out away from the neck. So straight out, just like you're trying to get this off the guitar. So you're doing this. If you need to see it this way, you're doing this. But pull it up and keep it tight and it will not fall out of here. Everybody keeps having problems with it falling out. Insert your own joke here. But just the coolest tuners ever invented. They were invented forever ago. And cramming new tuners on here and doing locking things. I like locking tuners. I love height compensated tuners because you can get rid of the string trees. You don't need them at all. No guitar needs string trees. If you put the right tuners on it, or if you simply follow my instruction and you wind them way down like that to the bottom of the post, you don't need string trees. So you can get rid of that friction. So for those of you out there, and who are out there like me, that don't want string trees, and you don't mind the little hole there, you put this back on later if you're ever going to sell it, take them off, change your strings on any kind of tuner the way I do, and yeah, for these type of guitars, you know, the Fender type headstocks that do not tilt back, and if your nut is cut right and there's nothing hanging up here, it's very, very possible that you're getting hung up on these crappy string trees like these. Roller string trees are fine, friction free, pretty much 99% friction free. But if you wrap them, if you wrap your shit like this, you do not need string trees because they are down so far that they are going to put plenty of the break angle across the nut to make everything fine. So this can go away and you eliminate tuning problems on a Fender, which is always a beautiful thing because Fenders are notorious for being just out of tune sounding guitars. That's basically due to their build. Okay, that's not because you have bad tuners. So a lot of you are changing tuners when you don't need to, and you just understand that a lot of Fender guitars just aren't built well. Okay, and they haven't changed the designs. Like I said, Eric Johnson actually figured out how to correct it. His signature models do not have string trees on it, and his guitars, these are his custom models, his signature models, they don't play out of tune. You have an E chord that sounds perfect, then you have a G chord that sounds like shit. His guitars won't do that because he actually took care of the nut thing, where it's actually everything is compensated and the guitar works fine. So Fender knows the answer, they just choose not to use it. Okay, so there are, that's one of the big things with the guitar companies these days. They know how to make wonderful guitars, but they just don't. Okay, unless it's time for a special run or an artist series. But they know what the problems are and they know how to fix them, and every guitar can be fine. It could be beyond perfect with nothing. You set up the machine once, you know, and it makes it perfect every time, like Paul Reed Smith. Perfect guitars every time. I don't care if you like them or not, they are perfect guitars. Period. Don't matter whether they're from Korea or from the US. Their guitars are perfect every single time. There's no error ever on a Paul Reed Smith guitar. They understand what I'm talking about, okay? So next time you're shopping for a guitar, maybe consider checking those out. If you only have a few $100, get one on eBay. Just put in PRS, then space, put SE. Okay? Scott like S like Scott, E like E. Okay? And look at those. Get a used one and you're going to get one of the greatest guitars you've ever had in your life for like no money. It's, you know, the used ones. And they are every bit as good a quality from overseas, from in Korea, than the US ones. US ones cost you an arm and a leg, and I have some of their Korean ones and their US ones. I like the Korean ones much better. Okay? I have the other ones just because I want to try them, and I don't get to try stuff first. I have to buy it, then either keep it or resell it, just because I live in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, we're done here. Once again, Scott Grove, just changing strings again one more time, but just on different tuners. Why? Because somebody asked me to do it. That's it. I'm just... Please don't yell at me. I'm tired of people yelling at me. I'm sitting here doing a request for somebody. So the information I give you is 100% true. None of it's false. If you don't want to believe it, don't believe it. Go about your stupid ways. Okay? I'm not here to blow air. I've got better shit to do. Trust me. But I like to help folks, and this is a good guy. He's always been cordial, even when I'm being a dick or whatever, which is most of the time. But hey, I'm going to make a video for this guy because he signed up to my channel. I am so thankful for anybody who actually signs up for my channel. You know, so that's cool. Sorry that I have to discombobulate all the ratings and the comments after a week, but when you get this many videos, you can't keep track of all of them, so I just have to, after a week, shut them down, and then nobody ever gets to read all the cool stuff about it because of the few bad apples that are always in there that have to be the, again, it's always the skateboarder kids or the old die-hard traditionalists that won't accept anything new. You know, anything since the 50s is wrong. You know, so those guys will be dead soon enough, and then the old kids hopefully will grow up, and hopefully these videos will still be posted and they can watch them again with a little more open mind. So I'll shut the hell up and go away, and I appreciate you asking for this video, and I'm more than happy to have done it for you. So just rattling, and I love to do that too. So once again, I'm me or you. Don't be anybody else. Just be the best you can be, and take whatever information that I give you that works for you. Use that. If you find something better, tell me. I want to learn new shit too. Okay? So if you find something to add to all this, add to it. Like I said, sadly it'll go away in a week, but I'll mention it on another video and give you full credit, of course. But yeah, if you got a better solution to something that actually does work, I will gladly make another video if you're not going to do it and point that out to people. Okay? So be groovy, and that's it. Okay, I'll shut up. Bye.